Hey everybody, this is David. Wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how to use the Presonus Capture software. This is the software that came with our boards, and so I'm hoping that we will have fewer bugs to worry about using this rather than Logic Pro. The main difference between Logic Pro and Presonus is that Logic Pro has a lot more capabilities when it comes to post-processing and really compression and all those little things that we used to put in, we used to use in Logic to bounce our audio files. We will have to do that in another, really just kind of go without it actually. So, but this should be a lot better of a stable program, and it's a little, because it has less tools, it's kind of easier to use. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do it. Let's go ahead and click on it. It'll take you to this screen. What you want to do is you want to create a new session and make sure that the Presonus Firewire is your audio device. If it says that there is no audio device, that means you need to reset the Presonus boards and the software. Sample rate will always be 44.1 kilohertz. So I'll hit create session, and then for this I'll just do test session, and then on the session folder, this is the location of where I want to save it to. So we know we go to the NLF backup file, which is right here on the left. Select NLF audio, and then you'll want to create a new folder. I actually already created a new folder called test session, so I'm just going to click on that and hit choose. Hit OK, and then this is our arrange window. It's fairly simple. It's big. You can see everything. Up here on the top right is the transport that lets you push record, stop, play. Over here are marker buttons, and you'll want to use these quite a bit because whenever you start to export something, if you're not pushing the marker buttons, then you will have to go back and select and cut and trim and edit all the stuff you want to edit, and it's kind of a little bit of a hassle. So it's easier just to push the marker buttons whenever you want to have something marked in the sermon or the worship. So if we get done with our first song, you can hit the marker button, and that will mark that that was our first song. And then after we finish that song, hit the marker again. You'll know that we're at the beginning of the second song. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit arm all, and that will arm all 32 of our channels. We have 16 channel boards that run one to another using Firewire, and then those boards then Firewire into the Mac Mini. And once, if you look at this, it's 1 through 16, and then 1 through 16 again. So it reads them as two separate boards, but it imports all the tracks at once. So I'll hit arm all, and if you look, you'll see that I am recording in channel 17. And I will unarm all the tracks that I'm not using, so we don't use any of these up to 24. We usually only use 24 channels every Sunday. Okay, now I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit record, and it will be recording all 24 channels. And like I said, we start the service, hit marker 1, and that will show you right there we got a marker. So let's say we just finish our first song, go ahead and hit it again. You got marker 2, and do 6 songs usually or something like that. So we got 6 markers. All right, well, let's say that it's time for the sermon. So what I'll do is I'll hit stop. I will unarm all, and then I'll only arm the lapel. Sometimes we use just a handheld, or sometimes we use the lapel mic. Lapel on the board channel 23, so I would arm 23, and then I would hit record, and then I would do a new marker. So that's marker 7, and then when we're done, you would stop the recording and push marker again, so you know that's the end of the sermon. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show y'all is that I want to export the sermon, which would be this track right here. But what it'll do is this marker, you can move the marker, and then it'll export that session, that area. So instead of having to go in and like cut and do this other stuff. All you have to do is move the marker on top, and then that's how you would make your export longer or shorter. So what I will do now is I'll go up to session to export this track, export to audio file. That's what we do. Here is the location of where you want to export it to. We always export our sermons. Go to NLF backup, right there, select on that. Go to sermons master and choose. And once you choose, then you export the sermon, whatever it's called. And so I had one before that was called test session, and I'll just do test session Dave. All right. We'll always be exporting them as an AIFF file, 16-bit, 44.1, and you can do the whole session. You can export each marker. It'll do this one will do one big file, the whole sermon or service, I should say. This one will export each marker, but it'll split them up. This one will just do the individual marker. So let's say I wanted to export just the sermon, which is what we usually do. You would go down and select sermon, or select to export marker 7 to 8. Then it'll select that, hit OK, and then it exported that right there. So I'll go find it now. Now I'll back up, sermons master, and we have it actually is channel 23. Where's channel 23? Oh wait, it was channel 23. It was test session Dave. There it is. Sorry. So that's that would be our audio file, and that's how we will be exporting these from now on. Okay. If you have any questions, give me a call. Thanks. Bye.